Arvin, we're back. This is actually one of my favorite topics. I don't know why I get so excited about this one, but Amazon posts. I know you've
Mhm.
told me that you're not the Amazon post expert, but I'm wondering if you could at least maybe just start by sharing like a little bit about what Amazon posts is and kind of what your knowledge is about it.
Well, the only thing I know about Amazon Post is that of course you can use any of anything that you're using on your social media, and perhaps you can use it on your storefront. Can add it in there, and then you can also use it for advertisement. But as to measuring the performance, the challenges of using it, and how it evolved from when Amazon introduced it before. I'm curious how Amazon Post can actually help sellers improve their sales just using Amazon Post.
Yeah, so I'll share kind of some of my knowledge. So Amazon Posts, I think, is a relatively new feature. I want to say within the last like two, maybe it's been 3 years now. But essentially, it was at first only available to brand registered sellers, and I think it's still that the same case. I could be wrong though, but essentially, it's a format that kind of mimics Instagram, and the majority of where it's displayed is going to be on mobile search. But I have seen some maybe the split testing they're doing where it shows up on desktop every once in a while. But so essentially, the way to find this is you go into your advertising console and in kind of the little, I think it's the three level layers of dots. If you press that button, normally that's where it'll
Mhm.
show access to Amazon posts. You have to set it up at first, which normally means you put your brand name in and upload kind of a profile picture. And then once you do that, you can upload posts to Amazon. A couple things to know about this is so one, well, I guess I'll just start with why I love Amazon posts is it's free traffic at least for now. Who knows if Amazon's going to start charging for it or maybe offer like a paid placement feature for it. However, you can essentially, if you're already, let's say, doing direct to consumer or maybe you have a big social media presence and you're already putting out content for your brand elsewhere, you can literally take those images and most of the time you can either take them and just as is upload them to Amazon posts or sometimes you might need to make some edits, but it's an easy way to repurpose that content and essentially use it, upload it, and it's going to get, I mean, the moral of the story is gets you free exposure and free traffic for your brand. So things, I guess, sorry, go ahead. Looks like you had a question.
No, just curious to know. So since you actually really experienced it, since you've done it for some of your clients, did you see any improvement since from the time that you launched the Amazon Post?
Yeah, good question.
Did
So when Amazon posts, the metrics that it gives you are pretty limited still. And so
Mhm.
you can't see the how many people are converting directly from that post unless they've made an update in the last like week or two, but I don't think so. And so what you can see are essentially the impressions and then the clicks. I know for like
Mhm.
one of my personal brands, my Merch by Amazon business, I am able to do Amazon posts for that. And so we're doing daily posts for various products. And I think I got maybe like 50,000, 60,000 free impressions in like a 3 month period. I don't remember the
Mhm.
clicks or any of the other metrics off the top of my head, but in terms of exposure, that's great when you consider what you would have to pay for paid placements to get a similar reach. Um, the other things with it though are so a couple things I think to know about. One, if you're selling adult products, alcohol, anything like that, there's certain categories you cannot do this for. Pretty much anything that Amazon doesn't allow you to run ads for, you also can't do Amazon posts for. And if you include keywords related, they'll also reject those posts. For example, I had t-shirts that mentioned alcohol in them. Those got auto
Mhm.
rejected. Even though it might be a funny phrase about alcohol, I'm not selling an alcohol product, but Amazon will flag that post and reject it. So that's just something to consider if you're thinking about what your brand does. And then there's other kind of so essentially the format of it is you literally upload an image, then you can tag products in your catalog,
Uh-huh.
and then write a very short description and hashtags. Um, Amazon will also there's certain other guidelines. I don't think you can do like you can't do posts that refer anyone back to your direct to consumer website or
Yeah,
that
they will
you
not allow
know
it.
Yeah, and you can't do posts that say, mention maybe special offers or discounts or anything about shipping or whatnot. It has to really just be kind of like lifestyle product pictures and maybe, infographic kind of posts. But the cool thing about it is that Amazon will automatically put those posts in a number of different places. The most important one being they'll go onto competitor listings. So Amazon, obviously, they're smart. A lot of data in there. So if you're a skincare brand and you're uploading posts about skincare, let's say like an eye mask or
Mm-hmm.
a face mask, Amazon will actually on mobile display at the bottom of a listing. They will display your posts and maybe posts from other brands. And so again, you're essentially capturing free space on competitor listings by just publishing these posts. They'll also display, I've seen them sometimes in search results every once in a while, but that's it's very infrequent. And again, that's kind of split testing stuff I think they're doing. The other place though they display are your storefront. So if you have a storefront, and again, recommend everyone has Amazon posts turned on, but there's an option, you'll pretty much have a tab there that auto populates with all of the posts. And then the other thing is shoppers can follow your brand. I don't know how big of an impact that has right now, although I can, especially because, Amazon steals from the best and, they're making a lot of changes in terms of mimicking things like TikTok and some of these other platforms. And that's kind of another sector we can talk about too. But so the posts and getting followers could, and I do think will become more and more meaningful as you go. But I'd say today, the
Yes.
number one thing is this is a relatively low-hanging fruit. Like, if you're already creating content elsewhere, pretty easy to repurpose, upload it, and you're going to essentially get free traffic. So I think that's why I love Amazon posts. And I think that a lot of brands I've seen don't use it when it's probably pretty easy for them to use. So yeah, I think those are kind of like the key takeaways for me. Do you have any other questions or is there anything else like you want me to cover on it?
Well, actually, I mean, you talking about these posts and about social media, but let's say, for example, I'm a seller that I am not really active with posts or in social media or anything like that. Do you think I will really benefit from it still, even though I don't really have that much content to post?
Yeah, I've worked with plenty of brands the same way, and even for like my merch by Amazon business, like I don't post anything on any other channels. So, we just
Mm.
created posts using there's so much, especially with AI, there's so much software that can help with this, but product mock-ups, for example, like we'd have, I was using a company called Printful, which creates product mock-ups and mock-up images. So I would take oftentimes literally just a mock-up image that had it's a t-shirt. Most of the products I sell are t-shirts, but a t-shirt on it. And literally download that. And that was my image for my post, and I guess what I'm saying is if you're not creating content, you're going to get the benefit if you do create the content, right? You're going to get exposure.
Yeah, for sure.
You have to be consistent, although it's not like Instagram or maybe some of the other channels where, if we publish a video on YouTube, it might, depending on the category, like this category is kind of evergreen in a way. So the content can still be relevant a year, 2 years from now. But for a lot of people, that are maybe doing YouTube videos about the latest news this week, that's not going to be relevant and it's going to die off. Amazon Post has a weird life cycle. It seems to be that if you post something today, Amazon could keep serving it and maybe it doesn't even pick up momentum and they start serving it, but like 3, 6 months down the road. So, and I'm not sure exactly how that system works. There's not much information on that, but yeah, to answer your question, I think the barrier to entry to create content's pretty low now. Like there's so many companies and services. And so if you have a small catalog and a really good product, it's probably worth spending some money just getting maybe 100 or 200 images done. And now you have those for Amazon Post, but you can also use them for your listing images, your A plus content, or your direct to consumer site. So I think it's a worthwhile investment depending on the stage of business you're at.
Do you think Amazon will start charging for it in the future?
I
So
have
you
a
said they launched it 2 years ago, so they're still not charging.
my predictions are two predictions I have for Amazon posts. I think, well, three actually. One, I think they will give us way more visibility in terms of the metrics. Convert, like being able to see how
Hmm.
many people clicked and converted from a post would be amazing. So I think they're going to continue rolling out more metrics. I think the second thing I would expect, and I was kind of saying this with, the comment about TikTok, but we also see, Amazon launched Amazon Inspire, several months ago, maybe
Yeah.
it's a year now, but so, on mobile, if you should have at the bottom of your mobile app an option to go into this Inspire thing, which is like a video. It's pretty much TikTok. It's a video style feed where influencers create product videos. They're tagged, etc. And I believe brands can do it. I don't know if technically they're allowed to by terms of service, but anyway, my point saying that is I think that Amazon will likely roll out posts where you can upload videos. I would not be surprised if we see that sometime in the future. I think that's going to be a big one. But I do think, to answer your question, I think that they probably will add, I mean, their ads business is a huge portion of their revenue. I think it makes sense for them, and I think they will add a ad placement or an ad format where you maybe can sponsor or do a boosted post or a sponsored post similar to what we see on Instagram or LinkedIn.
Yeah.
You can pay to have a higher position in placement or show up in more places. So I wouldn't be surprised if that becomes an ad format in the future. So I guess those are my hot take predictions on it.
Yeah, I think you're right with that one. They'll probably do the boost thing that they're doing for Instagram. So it's more of like a social media to me, really.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
anyway, I think that kind of covers it all, unless you have any other questions on the topic. But I think for anyone watching or listening, go check out Amazon Posts. At least create, your little account with a profile picture. And I would recommend just trying to upload some images in there. So yeah, that's my recommendation. Anything else to add, Arvin?
Nope, that's it. Yeah, thanks,
Cool.
man.
Awesome. Well, if anyone does have questions about this or anything else Amazon related, check the description, check the comments below the video. We'll put some ways to get in touch with us and some other resources as well. So, without further ado, though, I guess that's it for this video, and we'll see you in the next one.